Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today I'm going to be watching, reviewing, and reacting to Season 3, Episode 5 of Stranger Things. So, for those of you who are on my Patreon, you'll know that we're a little behind on Stranger Things. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's not really exactly the same because the schedules are off because Patreon gets early access, so you probably don't need to worry about what I'm about to say. But for those of you on Patreon, you'll know that a lot of the series I started at the same time, so Stranger Things, Mindhunter Dark, and The Boys, we were basically at the same episode every week, whereas because of what happened with my little friend Neville passing away, I got a little behind on Stranger Things. So in everything else this week, I'm going to be on episode 6. On Stranger Things, I'm going to be up on episode 5. And I do apologize for that. I was originally thinking that I was going to try this weekend to watch episodes 5 and 6 of Stranger Things back to back so that it would be evened out with everything else. But I've decided what I'm going to do instead is to wait until we get to the end, and then I'll watch episodes 7 and 8 back to back. So I'll wrap up the season with 2 episodes watched in a row. So I think that might be more enjoyable anyway, than doing kind of like mid-season back-to-back sort of things. So hopefully that's cool with everybody, but I just wanted to let you know what was going on. And again, if you're watching on YouTube, probably won't be an issue for you because you are behind on all the series because Patreon gets early access. So I just wanted to say that before getting into this, so I'm ready to now jump right into episode 5 and see what is going on with everybody in the aftermath of the climax of episode 4, which left most of our characters in pretty interesting positions, especially Steve and group. So, episode 5, Stranger Things Season 3. Here we go. Alright, and we're still plummeting. Micro. Oh god.
Is everyone okay?
Yeah, I'm great now that I know that Russians can't design elevators!
I think we've clearly established that those buttons don't work.
They're buttons. They have to do something.
Yeah, if we had a key card.
What?
It's an electronic lock. Same as the loading dock door. If we don't have a key card, it won't operate, meaning...
We're stuck in here.
Yeah.
Just so you nerds are aware, I'm supposed to be spending the night at Tina's. And Tina always covers for me. But if I'm not home for Uncle Jack's party tomorrow, and my mom finds out you three are responsible, she's gonna hunt you down one by one and slit your throat.
I don't care about Tina or Uncle Jack's party. Your mom's not gonna be able to find us if we're dead in a Russian elevator.
This is a solid point.
What if we climbed out? What were you saying about climbing?
Yeah, guess that's not gonna work out. Um, how long have the Russians been there that they tunneled that far underground? What the hell? We've been digging this underground tunnel elevator shaft for the past 30 years.
Drop the gun. Drop it! You understand what I'm saying, big guy? Drop the weapon! Or what? You going to shoot?
Yeah, okay. He's supposed to be like Arnold.
What I'm saying, huh? And yeah, you don't put that thing away, I'm gonna blow some daylight into that thick skull of yours. No. Why's that? Because you're a policeman. Policemen have rules. Oh, yeah. We'll test that theory. I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Joyce! Drive! Come on, Joyce! Quit screwing around! Joyce, drive! Joyce, please! Joyce! Drive!
It's helping. That went well.
Still think it was our government?
Ah.
Todd? Listen to me. That man in there, I know he doesn't look it, but he is one of the most dangerous men in the world.
Oh, yeah, that's believable.
Murdered many children. What? Yeah, he's a true psychopath. I tracked him over 2 state lines.
What's going on?
Ah, Detective Byers. This is Todd. He's agreed to lend us his vehicle to transport our dangerous criminal.
Oh, yes, he's very dangerous forger for
Yeah. Child murder.
child murder.
We should really get going.
Hey, how do I get my card back?
You just call the station.
Totally believable.
I like the sound of that, Todd. Hey, what station? You're doing the right thing.
Todd father. I mean, that guy did kind of just look like a douche. That whole Todd father thing, but
It's a little fire hazard. There's no stairs, there's no exit. There's just an elevator that drops you halfway down.
They're commies. You don't pay people. They cut corners.
To be fair to our Russian comrades, I don't think
Oh
this
my
tunnel is
God.
designed for walking. I mean, think about it. They developed the perfect system for transporting that cargo.
It all comes into the mall like any old delivery.
And then they load it up onto those trucks, and nobody's the wiser.
You think they built this whole mall just so they could transport that green poison?
Very seriously doubt something as boring as poison. It's got to be much more valuable, like promethium or something.
What the hell's Prometheus?
It's what Victor Stone's dad used to make cyborgs, bionic, and cybernetic components.
You're all so nerdy. It makes me physically ill.
No, don't lump me in with them. I'm not a nerd, alright?
Why is it sensitive, Harrington?
you're one of them now, Steve.
What's to a 10-year-old child?
No, I'm just saying I don't know jack shit about Prometheus.
Prometheus is a Greek mythological figure, but whatever. All I'm saying is it's probably being used to make something,
Or power something?
like a nuclear weapon.
Totally.
Walking towards a nuclear weapon, that's great. That'd be great.
But if you're building something, why here? I mean, Hawkins. Seriously, of all places. At the very best, or a toilet stop on your way to
Oh.
Disneyland, but maybe that's it.
Time to fill them in.
You think the Russians know about that? They could.
So it's connected?
Yeah.
How? I don't know, but it's possible.
I'm sorry, is there something you two would like to share with the class?
Oh my god. He's checking over like listening devices.
Maniac. Mouthchat, Smollett. How long is this gonna take? Because I know. No. You do not get to question me. You have dragged an enemy of the state into my home as carelessly as a child drags in shit on his shoe. I will search him until I am satisfied.
Jim, come here. Come here. I need to talk to you. This is not gonna work.
What do you mean?
He's not eccentric. He's certifiable.
Glass houses, Joyce.
What?
You know, pot calling the kettle black.
Oh,
Excuse me. What? Do me a favor and move your lover's quarrel elsewhere. Oh, this not a lover's quarrel, pal. Spare me.
Keep that?
No. That's a different approach.
Dude! You did it! You won a fight!
Oh. So it impacts all of them? Or just the two of them? Like, because it impacts all of them, wouldn't this be happening to, like, Billy also right now, wherever he is, and Heather, and... Oh, okay, yeah, they're gonna explode. They're gonna explode like the rats. They're... Oh, God. I would be running. Run. Yeah, run away, maybe. Time to go. Okay. Well, that was episode 5, and they did definitely leave us off on another sort of cliffhangery situation there, with Nancy and Jonathan being stuck with the monster that has been created from the sludge that those two guys turned into after they stabbed them and hit them in the face with the so okay, so I am a little bit confused because it definitely seems to be the case that what happened to one of them was happening to the other. So the fire extinguisher slams into one guy's face and they both are like knocked back. And I mean, I suppose it makes sense in that they're supposed to all kind of be connected, and that's why when you had Elle fighting with Billy, supposedly there was an impact on Mrs. Driscoll at the exact same time. They're all kind of pod people, they all have a bit of the mind flayer within them, so that all makes sense. But at the same time, it just seems like it's not the exact same thing that would necessarily be happening to all of them. Like, why was the exact same thing happening to those two? We can't just assume that the same thing was happening to all of the pod people everywhere, because then they would all have died and turned into that goo shit, yes? Which I suppose is possible, but I'm gonna assume that Billy didn't just turn into that sludge and die off screen. So maybe there's some sort of layers to it, like some of them are more connected than others, or like if they're in closer physical proximity to each other, that it has more of the same sort of impact. I don't know. I'd like to kind of get a sense of how this works, because that seems a bit confusing. But so overall, in this episode, we see the storyline progressing. We see our main groups, some of them starting to come together. So Jonathan and Nancy have now linked up their information with Mike L and their little group there. They all have a sense of what's going on. They're starting to put stuff together. They're still completely missing out on the Russian aspect, or that another gate or doorway is being opened under the mall by Russians. They don't really have any clue that that's going on. Meanwhile, you have Steve and Dustin and their little group, and also Hopper and Joyce, who are all aware that there is a Russian thing happening in conjunction with Starcourt, and they are aware, some of them anyway, that there's weird goings on with magnets, but they don't know exactly, well, at least until the end of this episode, none of them really knew that it had anything to do with the other side or the Mind Flayer or anything like that. Now Steve and Dustin kind of have a sense because they've seen that, and hopefully they'll explain it to everyone else. But so basically the larger idea is that half of our group understands kind of half of what's happening, and the other half understands the other half of what's happening, and so presumably eventually they'll all have to come together and explain to each other everything that they know, fill in the pieces, so to speak. But yeah, there was some enjoyable, funny stuff in this episode. Like I said, I liked all of the Terminator Arnold references. That was very fun for me. As I mentioned, with Mortal Kombat, that's going on a lot, and I'm a big fan of the first two Terminator movies, so I enjoy seeing all of that going on. And the character that they introduced near the end of the episode being Hopper's friend who speaks Russian and is a kind of crazy guy, seems like he's going to be entertaining going forward. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. So that was an enjoyable kind of side story, and I'm continuing to enjoy the goings on in the mall with our little group there. Steve, you wanna fight! Steve and Dustin continue to be my favorites overall. But yeah, so pretty good episode. As I said, there was some good funny stuff, some good references that I enjoyed, and it's good to see also some of the character groups coming together. You know, I was a little less interested in the whole Jonathan Nancy thing, so to me it's better to have them be more incorporated into the group overall, as opposed to just off kind of doing their own little side thing, so I like that better as well. So overall, enjoyable episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing how things continue to develop. But alright, I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. So as I mentioned before, you know, next week I'll be doing episode 6, and then the week after that I will be doing episodes 7 and 8 together. So just a couple more weeks left. Alright everybody, thank you very much for joining me today, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye!